Glory be to God, Mighty God Ministries, episode 22, and this is health and wellness. And this is going to be another take on eggs. I eat a lot of eggs just because they're quick and easy. Obviously, with the pricing, it can get a little crazy. But before, probably in the last 2 to 3, 4 years, essentially, I would eat eggs, like I said, all the time. But this is a quick way to do it. And this is another thing that I haven't done this for a really long time. And the reason why I haven't done it is because essentially, I could not get egg whites, literally could not get them. But what I will do is if it's a certain day and I'm looking for, again, it's a quick meal. It's a quick meal that I want to get, protein in. Again, because I'm a big fan of, if you're looking to do that, getting protein in. And one of the easy ways to do that, which is super low calories, is to do egg whites. So these are cage-free liquid egg whites. These are Target brand. You can pick any brand you want. But essentially, these are 25 calories a piece, where regular egg is going to be 70 calories, essentially. And a regular egg is going to give you, it's about 6 grams of protein, give or take. This, because it's egg whites, it's going to give you 5. So you can see this is a brand new one. So you're going to have this little lip right here. You're going to pull the lip off of this. Obviously, try not to get it on yourself. And you're going to throw that in the trash. And then the next thing we're going to do is I'm literally going to do a cup. So normally what this would be is 3 tablespoons essentially equal 1 egg. So I'm just going to do a cup, and that's a little bit overkill, but this is what I do. So I'll do a cup of egg whites. And again, that's quite a bit because a cup of egg whites, 3 tablespoons, I forget what it is, if it's like 16, I forget how many tablespoons, but it's quite a bit. But it equals out to about 5 eggs. So in egg whites, I'm eating about 5.3 eggs. And I know that's the math, but it's about a little bit more. It's not quite 5.5 eggs, but it's around there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that in. I'm going to be done with my egg whites. If you want to do just the egg whites and keep the calories super low because you want other stuff, you can do that. And essentially right there, I think that's around 140 calories, but I wrote it down just in case so I get it right. I used to have it memorized completely. So what is it? 132? Yeah, 132 calories. So it's very super low calories. So it's 132 calories right as it is. Now, I like ginger. Also, you could do garlic, but I like ginger. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, again, the frozen crushed ginger. You could use real stuff, and I'm going to pop that in there. Because I like taking this. I think it helps, and sometimes it makes me feel better. So let's do that. Drop a little ginger in there. And then now you have 2 options. One is you can add stuff to this. You can cook it as is. What I will do is a lot of times I'm a big fan of tomatoes because tomatoes are big and they're filling. So a lot of times I'll cut up a tomato and cook the tomato together with this. Or what you could do is you could cut the tomato up and then do the tomato afterwards. So like you could cut it up and put it in afterwards. So again, it depends how you like tomatoes, if you like tomatoes at all. If you don't like tomatoes, obviously you're not going to do this. But if you do like tomatoes, you can put that in. And when you do that, you can cook it together or separate. Again, it's a preference of what you like. I actually a lot of times will do it together. And again, I don't know. I think it's one of those things where if you have enough heat, it's going to kill anything. So, and again, sometimes I'll do this with bread. Sometimes I'll do it plain. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these up. I have also done it with nothing. So literally just put the egg whites in plain, put a little bit of salt and pepper, and then just do it like that. I've also done it that way, and that turns out good too. So it depends. But this is going to be this is definitely going to be filling because when these cook up, they're going to get fluffy and they're going to take most of the bowl up. And I have to be careful with this because if I put too much in this thing, it's probably going to basically it's going to be bigger than the bowl. And again, I'm actually just going to microwave this. I've done it in a pan. You can do it in a pan too, but I'm just going to microwave this. And right now I have essentially, when I put this in there, the bowl is going to be filled up. You can't see it right now, but essentially I have half a bowl filled up with egg whites there. You can see that. So that's a lot. And that's going to cook up. Now, the other thing that I'll do, if I want to hit protein numbers that are really big, so right now, what do we have here? We have essentially 26.5 grams of protein right here, which is a decent amount. If I'm watching my calories, I'm going to keep it like this and just do the 132 in the tomato, which is another 30. So again, I'm under 200 calories. I'm getting 26.5 grams of protein. Again, calorie-wise, it's under 200. What I will also do is sometimes I want to add an egg to this. So sometimes I'll still eat another 2 eggs on top of this. Not always, but sometimes I'll do that. And these are these middle field farm organic eggs, so like they have they have the stuff on them, but that's okay. These are good. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 2 eggs today because I'm going to hit my numbers. I'm going to hit some high numbers today. So again, I'm just going to take my eggs, crack my eggs open, nice and easy. Pop that in. And then the eggs, because they have the yolk, obviously these are more nutritious for you. But if you're looking for calorie to cut it down, but then also just get protein, you can do egg whites. And that's why a lot of, depending on, if you look at the bodybuilders in the past, you'd see them eating a lot of eggs and all that stuff. That's why they're doing it. And then a lot of times they'll eat egg whites. And the reason why is because it's low calorie, decent amount of protein. Now, again, you can also just do whey. So if you want to do whey protein, you could buy whey protein and you do, I don't know if it's 2 scoops equals, 24, 30, 40 grams of protein. You could do that too. But I try to stay away from those unless it's like a pure whey. Because again, those can have effects on your stomach. Everyone's different. I know on mine, I can tell a difference when I do those. And again, there's nothing wrong with them. I've done them. So we're going to whisk this up with a fork. We're going to whisk my eggs. So now I have a mixture of egg whites and I have the yellow, 2 regular eggs, but basically it's going to make the yolk mix in. Now, this thing is filled up. It's definitely half the container right now. So we have half the container. And then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw my tomatoes in there. But I have to be careful because I have a big tomato. I've done this with, sometimes I'll do medium tomatoes. And like I said, right now, because it's so filled, this is going to heat up. So you have to keep in mind, if the bowl's already filled this much, this is normally what I do in a pan. So I have to be careful because this can just shoot up and it's going to be a problem. So my mind right now is telling me don't put the whole tomato in there because this is a big tomato. But, let's just do it because you know what? Sometimes you just got to do it and try it out. Again, it's going to splash. And this is going to be, we're going to see what happens here. This is going to be questionable. Normally, I don't do this big of a tomato, at least with that many eggs in one bowl. Normally, I'm doing this in a pan. But you know what? Let's just do it. And you know what? It'll all work out. And what happens with this is sometimes you have to like stir this too. Because again, because it's in a bowl, it's going to cook up really quick. But what's also going to happen is because it's like we're almost max out to the top, it's going to puff up. So, and again, this is not, I'm going to be honest with you, this is not like the best meal as far as like, is it going to taste phenomenal? No, it's going to be okay. Cause again, it's just a ton of egg whites and tomatoes. Now you can do some things to help make it taste better, which is obviously add some salt and pepper in that. But again, because of the way it's, you're eating so many egg whites, it's not going to be just like it's not going to be the same as eating regular eggs, but that's okay. That's okay. And again, what we're going to do, I'm just going to add a tiny bit of salt, just a tiny bit of pepper. And then also I'm going to add, which you don't need to do this, but I like to add some seasoning. So I like to add some, same thing. I'm pretty much very similar, consistent. I'll add a little bit of Italian seasoning, a little bit of oregano. And sometimes I'll do, again, parsley and basil, but I'm going to skip those today. I'm just going to do it like this. Now, this is going to take probably, because the bowl's so high, this might take a minute to a minute 60, maybe longer. And I'm going to definitely put the lid on this so that it doesn't splatter all over the place, doesn't goes crazy. So I'm going to put a minute 60 on this. I'm going to keep an eye on this. I got to keep an eye on this because this thing is like maximum capacity right now, because I used a big tomato. If I didn't do that, then we'd be fine. But it's pretty high, so I got to keep an eye on it. And like I said, a lot of times I'll pan fry this, but this is a quick method. If you're just throwing them in, if you don't do the regular eggs, you pour the egg whites in the bowl, throw them in there, put a tomato in, and you're done. So I'm going to keep an eye on this. And we are at a minute 30 from a minute 60. I got my water already ready to go. I would probably do one of two things. I might eat it out of the bowl, just eat it straight out of the bowl, and just do it like that. Or I would do Ezekiel bread because I love Ezekiel bread. I love putting it on there almost like a sandwich. And you saw the egg sandwich. This is very similar. It's pretty much the same thing. Again, you could do your toppings. We're at a minute now, so I'm just going to take a little peek in there. It's not even close to done, so we're good. And I hit it twice and it added a second, so we got to wait. I'm going to go back to minute 13. And you could add stuff. Again, if you want to flavor this up, okay, you can add hot sauce. You can add honey. You can add guacamole to it. Again, that's always good. There's so many things you can add to this. So many different things. So we're going to let this cook up. And again, even with this, I am at, let's see, what are we at? 300 calories, 40 grams of protein. So we're at 40 grams of protein, 300 calories. So again, it's still a low, very low fat, high protein meal, lunch, whatever you want to call it. You could even do it with a dinner. You could throw any other thing in there, vegetables or whatever. And again, I want to keep an eye on this. And because, again, this is so massive, it's definitely going to take, this is definitely going to take a minutes, 2 minutes to, I'd say 3 minutes to cook up based off of how it's going. So I am going to take the toaster out while that's going. One thing that I forgot to do, which I should have did, but again, that happens. Sometimes we forget. I should have taken the bowl and put something in the bottom, essentially. And when I say that, either olive oil or something to coat the bowl. It's a plastic bowl, so it'll work. But again, a lot of times you want to coat it because of the fact that stuff can, it's going to be hard to clean. So I'm going to get 2 pieces of Zeco bread. Again, this is going to be protein, another 80 calories, 4 grams of protein, so 2 pieces. So I got another 8 grams of protein and 160 calories. Now, if you're watching your calories, you might want to cut out the Zeco bread. But I know what I ate earlier, and I didn't eat a ton of stuff. Right now, you're going to see this is starting to cook up like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spoon this out because it's not quite where I want it to be at. And the reason why is because I have so much stuff in here. So I do like it a little bit runny. So sometimes I would eat this just like out of the bowl like that. But it's not even close yet because I added so much stuff. So we're going to do another minute 60. Again, you might be at 3-4 minutes total. But that's okay. My bread's going. So I got my bread going. That'll give me a little bit more time for my bread. Put that on. And we'll let that go. And when you see it, when it starts to cook up, you're going to know it's done because it's just going to look like eggs, but in a bowl. It's going to get that white fluffiness to it, but it's going to be like chunky because the way it cooks it, it's obviously cooking in a bowl is quick, but it's going to be that chunkiness to it. So I'm going to keep an eye on it. We're at another minute. What do we do? Another minute 60. So we're about, again, maybe 3 to 4 minutes tops, even if you put a ton of stuff in there. And again, I'm keeping an eye on this. So it's still cooking. And if I was going to eat this out of the container with no bread, I would just I would let it a little bit more runny, as you call it, and I would eat it like that. But because I'm going to put it on the bread, I obviously wanted to cook up so I can stack it on. I can pile it on. If I wasn't doing that, obviously if it's runny, it's not going to go well on the bread. But it's not even, this is a lot of eggs and tomato. So it's not going to fill up. I'm not going to be able to eat my 2 pieces of bread on this. And now it's starting to puff up. So I could see the puffiness. It's still going, but we still have a minute left. Let that go. My bread's probably going to be close to done. And we're done with this one. Again, it's another take on eggs. It is similar to the other video I did, but this one right here, again, it's nice because it's just in a bowl. It's just in a bowl and you can just eat it out. And if you are short on time, then just throw the egg whites in there. Literally, you just eat the egg whites out of there. Put some salt and pepper on them or have some hot sauce because obviously plain egg whites, they're good for you. Protein's great, but they're not going to be the best. And now you can see, just again to show you again, it's starting to puff up. You can see it's puffing up there. So again, we're going to stir this. And look, you can see right now that the sections that are puffing up, the bowl is obviously hot, but the sections that are puffing up right now, if you could see that, it's getting nice and puffy right there. So again, I'm going to just give a little scraping off. And essentially, if I was eating this right now, I would eat it right now as is because it's almost like a soup consistency, but there's also the chunks that cooked up. And it's going to have that liquid because why? Well, because we have the ginger in there. So that ginger melts and that ginger will also add some liquid. So I'm going to finish up because I had 32 seconds left. My bread is good to go. Done. And we're going to take this in. I'm not going to do avocado today or any of that stuff. We're just going to go plain basic today. So we're going to go with that, plain basic. And 10 more seconds. So what was that? 4 minutes total. And I'm going to cut it off right now because I'm pretty much confident that that's done. And it's got a little bit of liquid in it, but that's okay. So now if you could see right now, you can see the bowl, it's steaming, but you could see that right now. And it looks like it's just a big pile of mush, essentially, is what it looks like. But if you look at it, there's still a little bit of liquid in there, and then it's a consistency like that. So if you could see that, there's still some liquid and it's cooked up like that. And this is super hot. One thing about the tomatoes, they are going to be super hot because you microwave tomatoes, they get hot, because how we all know, well, the microwave works by what? It works by using water to cook the food essentially. It's semi pulling the water out of the food using infrared technology, right? So there's infrared, which essentially is it heats the water and then it cooks it and pulls the water out of it essentially. So that's the technology that's used behind that. I believe that's, layman's term. And then you could see where the egg whites are, because you could see like that chunk right there. It has the egg yolk right there, so it's got eggs and then you got whites. Now, like I said, I have to be extremely careful with this because this is super hot, and I've done this before where I'm like just want to eat, but I have to watch out because the tomatoes are super hot. Like they're gonna burn your mouth. The egg whites are probably fine, so I'm just gonna go. And that's still hot. It's almost so hot that I really can't eat it. And the tomatoes are worse. Well, let's try a tomato just to see. We're gonna have to be praying for this. We gotta pray for this one. Oh, yep. Not as bad, but still hot. So basically what I would do is I put this on my bread and I'm going to go to town. You can see I have a whole bowl here. So again, this is going to fill you up to the max. This is going to be a big meal. And again, what are we at? We were at 300 calories with 40 grams of protein with everything. And then you add in the toast, you're only at 160. So it'd be 460 total. If you skip the bread, you're at 300. If you skip the eggs, you're at 132 calories with 26.5 grams of protein. So again, it's another meal that's quick, a lunch, maybe a filler. Again, is this the best one as far as the flavor and taste? It's okay. But again, it's good to have different things for that you can fill calories or fill protein to hit certain numbers, and they're quick and easy. Again, bowl eggs, are they going to be as pan fried like that? No, but there is a place for them, and I'll do this to fill in different things I'm eating. So again, this channel is to glorify God. Don't forget that. Click the more link, basically, essentially, and click that. Read the salvation prayer. It is the most important thing you do. That essentially, when you do that, you're going to be accepting Jesus into your heart. To know that just like my shirt says, he rose in 3 days. He came down to earth, lived sinless as a man in a fleshly body. He was crucified. He died. He died essentially, and then he rose 3 days later. Okay, so you're gonna want to do that. I promise you, your life will change. It might not happen right away, but your life will change, and you'll start to walk with Jesus. The best thing you could ever do in your life. God bless you, and have a good day.